Hello to all the viewers at home. Hello, Rav Leitman. Hello, everyone. So this is our program, First Steps in the Wisdom of Kabbalah. This is a show meant for students who've just started studying with us. And many times the students are learning, they're enjoying it very much, they're excited, they say, whoa, they begin to discover that there's a whole method here, a very clear method, which gives them support and helps them make decisions in life. So we want to bring it to people who are close to us. We want more people to know about this, but the term Kabbalah, the wisdom of Kabbalah, the idea of it frightens them perhaps, or it just doesn't interest them. And so we can say that there's a thing called integral education. It's not Kabbalah, there's no creator there, no sages of old, no quotes from Kabbalistic sources. Just, I want to ask you then, what is integral education? Dr. Leitman, we are within the framework of nature, which is an integral framework. There is no element, even the smallest, which isn't interconnected to the whole system, with the whole system in such a way where each element influences the entire system and the whole system influences and affects every single element. This is an integral system. This is where we exist. And if we want to understand how this system operates, we need to take that into account. Gilad, and what is education? Education I know from school and children. That Dr. Leitman, it's when you build some structure to reality, a perception of a structure of reality through which a person can receive everything and through which he can relate to the environment. That's the purpose of education, to build the proper attitude or relation towards one's environment. And that environment includes the inanimate, the vegetative, the animate, and people. Gilad, so integral education is meant to teach the person that, Dr. Leitman, that he's within an integral system. Gilad, we know that, don't we? Dr. Leitman, well, we don't behave that way. You can see the ecology, the family, school with children, schooling, and with adults, the elderly, we don't relate to everyone, to everything as one single system, where every layer of it, every element of it influences the others. We don't. Gilad, so naturally we relate to each element on its own and we don't see the system as a whole. Dr. Leitman, yes, and that makes us make many mistakes. Gilad, so you said to know, and now you say to relate. These are not exactly the same. Dr. Leitman, correct. Because I don't know much about the system, especially about its inner interconnections, which are concealed from me also. And so it follows that the lack of knowledge regarding the functioning of this integral system, because of that lack of knowledge, I'm missing out a lot in terms of my life and my destiny. It's like I'm shooting myself in the foot, really. Gilad, I came from the area of holistic medicine. Dr. Leitman, yes, you have a doctorate degree in it. Gilad, so it sounds very similar. What's the difference between integral education and a holistic approach to life? Dr. Leitman, well, I think they call it a holistic approach, but it's not truly holistic. It's not integral. Let's leave the two definitions apart. Integral means that everything is included in one system. Holistic, that means that you take, generally speaking, a small part, perhaps not very small, but a part, nevertheless, of the system which people can digest somehow. And so they relate to what's happening through that. And where we don't see the interconnections, then we simply don't don't take that to be a part of the holistic system. Or perhaps we talk about it, but we can't really work on it. Gilad, that's true. There's a lot of room for imagination there. Dr. Leitman. Yes, while in the integral system, we say to begin with that it's all one single system, and all of it works in such a way where every element affects all the rest, every other element. And there's no single part of the system which is free, which is disconnected from others. And the problem is that mankind delves in everything and is part of everything. He's the upper part of the system, which must know the system and relate to the system in such a way where he knows how it functions completely. And so he needs to make decisions accordingly and govern the system. Ultimately, he must govern the system. Gilad, him, that little cogwheel, that little screw there? Dr. Leitman, yes, he must grow. The small shall be great, and you shall be as God, knowing good and evil. It's written. Gilad, it sounds like an inner conflict there. I'll tell you why. Because you once gave a fantastic example, I remember, of cogwheels. Yeah, how they all spin together, operate together. Perhaps that's an example which somehow describes the system. But if I'm a cogwheel, then okay, I know that I have my place, my role, and there it ends. When I begin to govern the system, well, that actually sounds. Perhaps you can explain what it means to govern the system. Dr. Leitner, I am just like everyone else in the world. I am a free person who can be in contact with everyone and can choose not to be in contact, in interaction or connection with others. It's kind of like a clutch, right? Having a clutch where I come into contact with others and I can also disconnect from the others. And so I have my root of the soul, my point within the whole integral system, and from my own soul, from its root, I connect to the upper force and can pass sustenance from the upper force to the whole system through me. It's a small portion, it's what I can do, but it's me doing it. It's my role, and so with each and every one. Gilad, so I'll try to simplify it somehow so that I, as a beginning student, can understand it or explain it to a person who doesn't learn at all. So I heard two main principles now. One is that to begin with, I have to assume that this system operates as a single whole. I never saw such a thing, but I'm willing to agree. It sounds right in a way. It also inspires a certain confidence. Yes, we all work as one system. It sounds right. It sounds good. Now you mentioned something. You mentioned something called the upper force. Like, what is that? Is there something that... Dr. Leitman, yes, that sounds like it obligates you. And? Gilad, yes, so what do I do with it? How do I explain it? How do I agree with the fact that there is an upper force? Dr. Leitman, through lack of choice. Do you know what's going to happen in the next moment? Gilad, no. Dr. Leitman, well then, the fact that we're in a system and that we depend on each other, that much we know, but nobody knows what's going to happen in a single moment, meaning he's not in charge of his future. And if a person is not in charge of what's going to happen the next minute, how can he plan anything? Gilad, he can't. Dr. Leitman, well, so what can we talk about even? You can just wait and see what's going to happen. Or perhaps you do something that you think might turn out good and it never turns out exactly the way you want. There's a mechanism working above you. Gilad, it's clear to me that the great majority of reality is concealed from me. I agree with that completely. But what is the upper force? Dr. Leitman, above you, nature. Gilad, is it The upper force because it's above, because I don't know it? Dr. Lightman, no, because it's above you. You say, I plan this and that, and it turns out that none of it happens. It's above me, it governs me. Yes, it governs you as well, everyone. Gilad, okay, I accept that. Dr. Lightman, and that is called nature. We're in that system. When you were born, did it exist or didn't it? Gilad, I don't remember. Dr. Lightman, you don't even remember? So what are you arguing? There's something that exists in front of you, now it exists, and it will exist after you as well. So what are you entering into argument here? Who's greater, you or nature? Gilad, of course nature, but what is the upper force? Dr. Lightman, that's nature, it's the upper force. Gilad, is it a program? Plan? Dr. Lightman, yes, of course, and we see how it keeps pushing us towards somewhere, whether we see it or not, whether we agree with it or not, we see that we're within a system of laws. Some of these laws we know, we discover it through science, and some we don't know, we don't discover. Gilad, okay, I accept that, and what is the purpose of this whole thing? If there is a system, certainly it must have a certain purpose. Dr. Lightman, we don't know that either. We don't know. Ask scientists, and they will tell you this much we know, this we know a little, and this much we don't know anything about, etc. Gilad, and what does the integral education say about it? Dr. Lightman, integral education will teach us how to connect to the integrality of nature by being ourselves integral beings. Through that we will get new senses, new perceptions, and discover everything that happens in nature. Gilad, so this isn't just an assumption. You're told, come and see, right? Discover. Dr. Lightman, it's an approach. It allows one to see the whole of nature as one integral system, and we don't need anything more than that. Gilad, okay, so you have two main assumptions. One is that there's one single system, and also that it brings me towards something, and I need to learn to study it by... Dr. Lightman, well, not exactly. Gilad, okay, so what exactly? Dr. Lightman, there is an integral system of which we are all part, and we have the ability to learn it, to study it. By what? By becoming more and more similar to it. Gilad, so I can become similar to the system. Dr. Lightman, yes, through my connection to others and the way I relate to the inanimate, vegetative, animate, and speaking degrees of this world. If I relate to them in an integral way, in a good, friendly way, being also a part of those levels, in that way I begin to feel how I should accept nature, relate to nature. Gilad, okay, so there are two things that need to develop in me in order to be able to absorb this integral education. One is to understand and to agree with it, because we saw there is some resistance. And the other thing is to feel the system. Dr. Lightman, yes. Gilad, okay, so it's starting to become clear what integral education actually is. So what do I need to do in order to understand, and what do I need to do in order to feel? Dr. Lightman, engage in it, work with it, and engaging with it, that's what the wisdom of Kabbalah is all about. How to receive, how to accept this integral nature such that this system will clothe on us or in us in a clear way. And then it's written, from your actions we shall know you. Dr. Lightman, okay, Gilad, okay, so we're back to Kabbalah. Dr. Lightman, don't say Kabbalah, say it's a science of nature. Gilad, so I need to get a certain basket of new knowledge, full of new knowledge, things I know about, don't know about. Dr. Lightman, okay, call it cybernetics, cybernetica. This is the science I came from. Gilad, okay, so there's a system of laws just operating on me constantly. So what kind of knowledge do I need to gain in order to start engaging with it? What knowledge do I need? Dr. Lightman, nothing but a certain desire for it, a want. I exist in this world, but I can't really get along in it properly, and so I must get to know it to understand it. Without it, my life is the life of a beast, not a human being. A human, Adam, means someone who knows the system, knows nature, works in interaction with nature. Gilad, okay, so I come to a lesson and I learn integral education. What am I taught in the first, second, third lesson? What knowledge do I get? Dr. Leitman, you get knowledge about the existence and operation of the integral system, what rules apply there, etc. And what rules we need to understand and then to adopt in a way, in order to begin to enter the system in an emotional way, to see that we're inside it, that I'm truly inside this whole integral system, which is operating that way integrally with all its parts. Gilad, it sounds wonderful. It sounds also very enticing. Dr. Leitman, yes, it opens a person's eyes. He sees where he is. Before that, he was like just a dog in the street, just walking around. Gilad, like a blind person. Dr. Leitman, yes. Gilad, okay, so let's talk about the 3 first rules a person must know. Dr. Leitman, why 3? Gilad, let's start with something, maybe 10. Dr. Leitman, the whole system is built of 10 parts. That's it. They're called 10 sfirot. The whole system, in general, is called ratzon, will, the will to receive. And what fills that system and what governs it is the power of bestowal, the power of the light. Yes, and there's more. Gilad, okay, so first lesson, I need to learn that everything is made of 10 parts. Dr. Leitman, yes, this is the structure of the vessel. Then you learn about what the light is, the power of bestowal that governs the vessel. Then the connection between the vessel and the light and the vessel. Gilad, but it's clear to me that when I study, I don't have any way of actually picturing these terms to... Dr. Leitman, yes, but also in school, you don't know exactly what everything is about until you get further and further explanations, you start understanding. Gilad, okay, so I learned that there are 10 parts, it's called the will, and the light or the power of bestowal governs this will and makes changes in it. Yes, what else must we know? Dr. Leitman, and how through our will we influence the light so that it ties us together, so it fills us up more, so we learn where we are, we open the world up to us. Gilad, okay, so we have to learn how to invite, how to invoke that light so it operates faster or more properly. Dr. Leitman, yes, that's why this wisdom is called the wisdom of Kabbalah, how to discover reality, to receive it. Gilad, okay, so now it becomes clear that we can govern the system, as you said before, if we build up a certain desire which invokes that light to create changes in us, yes? Dr. Leitman, yes. Gilad, okay, so that's regarding basic knowledge, right? I need to receive some basic knowledge again and again, because it's clear that I can't actually feel and sense it yet. So what do I need to do in order to feel the system? Dr. Leitman, well, apply it wherever you can. And for that we build groups. 10 parts in reality, so we create groups of 10 people who try to connect together in an integral manner. In an integral way. Gilad, what does it mean to connect together integrally? Dr. Leitman, it means that everyone is included of everyone. They incorporate each other in a way, they're friendly to each other, they speak together, discuss things, and they need to build a certain system between them, a single united emotional system. Gilad, so I enter a process with 9 other people, and we come to an agreement. What do we agree on? Dr. Leitman, to build up an integral system. And if we begin to build it up, then within the system, we will begin to feel how the upper force, the light, which fills all of nature, how it governs it. Gilad, and does it matter who these people are? Dr. Lightman, they should want, like me, to discover everything about reality. Gilad, so men, women, does it make a difference? Dr. Lightman, it's preferable to separate men and women in order not to have these interruptions. What do we want them for? Gilad, so we gather together and we study the system. Is that enough, or do we have to also engage in various other activities? Dr. Lightman, connection activities, let's say, because it's an integral system. That means connection. Gilad, so what? Should we have meals together, party? Dr. Lightman, anything that can bring you closer. Gilad, and if I like songs and you like eating, then what do we do? Dr. Lightman, then we discuss, we find what each one likes, and we do something that everyone enjoys. Gilad, so here we come to the concept of mutual decisions. Dr. Lightman, yes, and by that we turn to the power of bestowal, which is the upper force. We want it to influence us, to tie us together, despite the fact that we're different. And this is called love covers all crimes. Gilad, so what happens here is that we create a connection between us, and when we don't succeed, then we need an upper force, or what? Dr. Lightman, you'll scrutinize it and you'll find that it's not exactly that way. Each one, the more he develops, he becomes more distant from the others. It's the nature of development. Each one is different. Gilad, okay, so I'm just flowing on with it. I don't want to. Yeah, let's see the general process here before we devote lessons to particular details, parts of it. It's good. So we started working, we invoke the upper light. What changes then in our feelings, our relation to reality, our friends, etc.? Dr. Lightman, as we receive this power that connects us together, we study that force through its operation in us as it connects us together. And then we become like it. We feel it, we understand it. We work in interaction with it. Gilad, but it doesn't just connect, it also separates us, right? So that we want it to connect us. Dr. Lightman, that's part of the connection. In order to know how it connects, we also need to see how different we are. It's work of making us more different to each other. It's also a type of connection, rather. The more it shines between us, it shows us how different we are, and then we invite it to connect us together more. And so it connects us together and shows us how similar we are and how we belong to one system. Gilad, so this is a wondrous thing. You say that we have this field where we work between 10 people, and it doesn't really matter who these 10 people are, but what matters is that we together want to learn, to study that power that operates on us, to see what it does and learn from it. Dr. Lightman, yes. Gilad, what does it mean to learn from it? It acts upon us, okay, but Dr. Lightman, from your acts we shall know you. The more it operates on us, we learn from its work. Gilad, can we have an example? Let's say I just spent some time with these 9 other people, we together are 10, and suddenly we had a fight and then we made up. We asked this force to arrive, and we see now that there's something more powerful in us than the hatred. Dr. Lightman, so you can see what it does with you, as it separates you and connects you together. Gilad, so how am I similar to it? Dr. Lightman, you're similar because you ask to be as one with everyone. Dr. Gilad, but it also separates. Do I want to be that who separates? Dr. Lightman, the king separates, attaches, and brings salvation. Gilad, okay, so I'm clay in his hands, let's say. It's not just me, also, it's us as a 10. We are completely operated by him. Dr. Lightman, yes, and he toys with you. Yes. So let's say we understand it. But what does it mean to be similar to him? Dr. Lightman, wanting connection. Gilad, for what? Dr. Lightman, to discover him. Gilad, and what will that give us? Dr. Lightman, will give him contentment. Gilad, and then what? Dr. Lightman, and then you are like him and you feel like him. Gilad, because he gives us contentment. Dr. Lightman, yes, you enjoy him and he enjoys you. Gilad, okay, so here we have a complete system. We close the circle. We give him contentment, he gives us contentment. So we don't have much time left, but still, I want to know what techniques should we use for this wonderful thing we just talked about to actually happen. Dr. Lightman, to learn how to connect. And this all is part of the wisdom of Kabbalah, especially in the writings of my teacher, the Rabash. Gilad, the techniques of the Kabbalists are very simple. It's actually mostly just to study, to receive the light, and also we do things like study together, and, well, the assembly of friends. Dr. Lightman, yes, there's not much to it. The main thing is that we, as a 10, ask for it to happen. Gilad, and do we need to watch over each other in some way? Dr. Lightman, yes, of course. We need to learn all these conditions, what connection actually means. Gilad, okay, so we're talking now about people who, they're not interested in the wisdom of Kabbalah. That's not what they want, but I think if we give them an explanation like you gave us now, everyone wants to have confidence, to know what's happening in reality, to know the upper program of nature, the plan of it, what's going to happen. So how long would you say it would take for a person to start feeling what we're talking about? Dr. Lightman, it depends on him. Gilad, he comes, he's ready. Dr. Lightman, ready doesn't mean anything. Let him act. Let him apply the teaching. Gilad, he's willing to come to a group and get the teacher that you assign him. Dr. Lightman, now he's ready, but let's see in a few years if he actually made any steps towards it or not. Perhaps in a couple of years he will find that he didn't even enter the 10 yet. Gilad, so this course we're talking about, we've been hearing about it for several years. If I offer someone to take a course in integral education, it's... Dr. Lightman, 1 month. When I came to the Rabash, there was this old man assigned to accompany me and help me. I asked him, how long would it take me to actually feel these things? And he said, in 2 weeks. You know, I told about it to the... Gilad, and after 2 weeks, did he tell you 2 more weeks? Dr. Lightman, no, I already understood by then that it's... But what would I have said in his place, you know? Gilad, okay, so we offer a course that takes a month, and a person will begin to feel that there is some truth there, right? Some first touch on Dr. Lightman. He must receive an explanation and know that there is no truth but for this in the world. And this is the only thing that's actually worthwhile to study and to apply. Gilad, okay, so our goal through this month is to make him understand that he wants to persevere, to continue with this, no more, yes? Dr. Lightman, yes. Gilad, and to continue, he must first come to know that, yes, this is the truth. Other than this, there's nothing that's true. That's a very meaningful, profound understanding. It's quite a shock even. Dr. Lightman, well, that's the world. That's life. Gilad. Okay, Dr. Lightman, this is the end of our time. I think in 30 minutes' time we got a whole method here. Perhaps you can give us a quick summary. Dr. Lightman, we shall do and we shall see. There is no summary here. You need to begin to have everyone go through it and to have the integral world we live in to be revealed to everyone. And it will be revealed because we live in concealment. And then people will see if they want or don't want the wisdom of Kabbalah. There is nothing a person requires in this world, needs in this world more than this. Good luck. Gilad, thank you all.